This weekend, one of my most anticipated films of the year, Civil War, drops in theaters. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Share your excitement level for Civil War, and if you've seen it, what did you think about it? And I was actually lucky enough to be able to see it at its world premiere at South by Southwest, actually, last month. And so the director, Kirsten Dunst, the cast were all there, and the premieres at South by Southwest are in the Paramount Theater, which seats 1,200 people. It's right in downtown Austin, a block from the Texas capital. And if you didn't see my other coverage of South by Southwest, you can check it out in this video right up here. And hopefully you can discover some movies that weren't quite on your radar. Of course, that's a very cool way to see a movie, but also I got to hang out with a bunch of my movie critic peers, meet some fans, meet some up-and-comers in the movie space. Actually, later in this video, I'll share some of their thoughts on Civil War. But because of all this, it means I actually saw the movie a month ago when it played at South by Southwest, and I've actually been under the weather this last week. You'll probably hear it a little bit in my voice, and I've had to stop to cough multiple times, even in the short segment that I've recorded here. So the main body of this review will be pulled from my South by Southwest coverage that I shot last month. It's expanded from what I previously released, but just right now, I'm really not feeling great, but I still wanted to share my thoughts on this in a singular review, and I'll add a little bit at the end to it. With that said, let's get started with the review. And this was a film I was very curious about because I watched the trailer and I went, that looks like a movie that I'll really enjoy, like a tense thriller in this fantasy situation, but one that feels close enough to reality that you could imagine it actually happening. But it's also from Alex Garland, the director of Men. It's coming out in an election year, and it's about a civil war in the United States, and you go, oh boy, what on earth, where are they going with this film? What are they going to do? How polarizing is it going to be? How is it going to upset people? And is it going to find a way to be able to be thrilling and exciting while also tackling whatever ideas it wants to say about the potential for civil war in the current United States? And I thought it just found like the perfect balance of all of that. And a big part of that is that it's not a movie really looking to preach at the audience. It's not telling you what to think. It's much more of a mirror film. It's holding up a mirror and saying, like, look at this, look at it, look at what's happening. Where do you see yourself in this movie? Stop and think about it. Stop and think about how you're behaving now that could push us towards something in the future. Please stop and think. And I think that was very much the right angle to go. It plays out what if the tensions, the polarization of right now just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and all the ways we don't listen to each other, we just want to shout at each other, if that keeps getting worse and turns into a civil war, plays that out and just kind of documents it. And it's kind of what the movie is about, these photojournalists trying to interview the president. And in the interview afterwards, and kind of you pick up from the film itself, it's trying to be a celebration of journalists and putting journalists up as heroes. And so when they first started doing that, I was like, where are we going? Like, trying to make journalists the heroes? Okay, right now, are they heroes? And that hesitation is because the 24-hour news cycle where the news anchors and stuff that's not journalism, but it's presenting people that are actually trying to document what's really happening and present facts, not editorializing everything, trying to put it out there. You go, okay, yeah, the people that are actually putting their life on the line to show the world what's really happening, to really try and document a time. Okay, yeah, I think that is the right direction to true journalism, not the circus that is 24-hour news. Okay, I gotcha. And so the movie just kind of plays you, it's like a road trip movie across the United States during this Civil War. And it just shows you all these different people and their perspective on what's happening. And each of the different people represent different ways that people perceive of the current tension in the United States right now. And even of the journalists in the car, one of them talks about how, they've forgotten what the United States used to be, and others like this reminds me of what it should be. And just one is a cynical perspective, and one is this much more positive look on it, this nostalgic view. And everyone has, and some of them are excited by the violence and stepping into the middle of it. Others are jaded and cynical towards it. There's like a sequence where they find themselves in the middle of a shootout and they're talking to someone like, who are you shooting at? I'm shooting at the guy shooting at me. Well, who are they? They're the guys shooting at me. Why are you trying to shoot them? Because they're trying to shoot me, you idiot. And they don't even know who they're fighting with. They don't know why they're fighting with them. They're just fighting because they're fighting for fighting's sake. And it just touches on all of these things without needing to lecture the audience, doesn't tell the audience what to think. It just holds up a mirror and puts up images, and you draw your own conclusions from them. The other thing that it does really well is it's consistently thrilling and exciting and horrifying. There's all of these images that are beautiful, but gut-wrenching, where you'll drive through a city and there's these images of the town burning and sparks falling from the sky, and it's just gorgeous to look at. But it represents the nation burning. And it keeps doing that, finding the beauty in the worst of circumstances. And the final one to talk about in here is that it's a movie that was made for $50 million and just feels so immersive. It feels so big. The images are so massive and beautiful to look at. The VFX are entirely convincing. It puts you in the middle of everything. And it's just another example of a film that didn't need to cost $200 million to take you to a different place and be utterly convincing at it. And another one where you kind of go, how was this movie able to pull it off at this budget where all these far more expensive films can't pull it off triple, quadruple, 5 times the budget? So for me, this is a movie that absolutely pulled it off. It delivered a great experience, and one that got me thinking, one that delivered awesome images, and one that was thrilling and exciting at the same time. Here's what others at the festival had to say about the film. What was your favorite film from South by Southwest?
So far, currently, Civil War.
Civil War surprised me.
Civil War, directed by Alec Garland. This may be my favorite Garland film.
Civil War, Alex Garland, I think, is one of the best writers and filmmakers working today.
A very intense, powerful film.
And it's one that I think you need to sit and process with, because it's not politically picking a side, but it has a lot it's saying by just the imagery. Like, it's no agenda, all image.
And I love the story, and powerful, and just very scary if this type of thing would happen in real life, you know?
And it's very scary that this movie that we just saw could be real.
Totally immersive experience. I was telling Sean, why is he able on smaller budgets to pull off completely believable immersive effects that films with much bigger budgets are often unable to do?
The cinematography was great, the music was good, and I thought the performances were great, honestly.
Adore Civil War.
Now, I personally had a great experience with the film. It seemed like everyone that I talked to at the festival, at least that I interviewed, was very positive on the film. But there's absolutely a percentage of people that are really not liking this film. Some of that is that they think it's irresponsible to make a movie like this in an election year with the current state of politics in the United States. Other people are frustrated that it's so apolitical and doesn't take a stance. The thing that a bunch of us love about it is the thing that they're frustrated by, that I think it needs to be more clear what it's trying to say. Others are frustrated by the fact that the movie's not really interested in exploring the reasons for the Civil War in the film. And so kind of that the world building, the explanation, some people watch the movie and they're like, I need to know why on earth are Texas and California teaming up? You can't just tell me they're teaming up. I need to understand, what's the reason for that? Why are the factions? Why is the Civil War happening? And the movie's not about that. And so there's a percentage of people that you're going to watch this film really frustrated. If you watch the trailer and went, why on earth would California and Texas be teaming up? The movie might frustrate you. And so just kind of go into it knowing that a lot of people are responding the way that I did, and just see this kind of beautiful film that's a mirror that you can read a lot into it. You can interpret, it's for the audience member to interpret and take out of it what they want. Others are frustrated that it's too ambiguous, it's too soft, it's too shallow. And so just kind of keep that in mind going into the film. Once again, I am sorry that I wasn't able to record a full, fresh new review for this. There's been a sickness running through my house the last 2 weeks, and I was at a film festival, came back very tired and exhausted with a weakened immune system, and then I've grabbed hold of it over the last couple of days, and unfortunately, when I was hoping to get back into the swing of shooting videos, it was like, good thing Joker came out, because I could put something out and rest for a few days afterwards. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Civil War. It was very much the movie I hoped that it would be. That it's a film that I think people on both sides can get something out of it, because it's not taking a side, it's more saying, war bad. Back off, like, let's step back and let's actually talk to each other rather than rushing to conflict, because no one wants the outcome of if all of this plays out. It was thrilling, it had the edge of my seat, it had emotion, it was poignant, it had all of those things. One of my favorite films of the year thus far. Overall, I'm going with an A- on the entertainment scale and 8.5 out of 10, and I do recommend you see this film in a theater. It is a gorgeous movie. It is worth seeing on a big screen with a great sound system, even just so you can join the conversation. You can check out the rest of my South by Southwest coverage right over there in that video. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV.